The Ninth Doctor comes face to face with some old friends in the fourth volume of Doctor Who, The Ninth Doctor Adventures from Big Finish, which also happens to be the final volume of the current run of stories featuring the voice of Christopher Eccleston as the Ninth Doctor, before we get the first volume of a new run of stories coming later this year. As always, I'm going to go and run through the stories in this set, but before that, let's take a look at the amazing artwork for this set. Once again, as I said, this features Christopher Eccleston. There he is on the front cover. We also have John Culshaw voicing the Brigadier. Obviously, we have the likeness of Nicholas Courtney taken from the Sarah Jane Adventures there. We also have Warren Brown coming in as Sam Bishop, and we have the TARDIS in the background. But the big surprise about this set upon its release on the Big Finish website was the inclusion of the Cybermen. Nobody knew that the Cybermen were coming back for this fourth volume of Ninth Doctor Adventures so soon after their last appearance in the third volume. All I can say is it was a very well kept secret from Big Finish, and they really played this well. So good job, Big Finish, and it's really great to see that the Cybermen are coming back again to face the Ninth Doctor so soon after their first encounter with him in Monster in Metropolis. I also love the fact that on the front cover we have a Mondasian Cyberman, which is an image taken from World Enough in Time from Series 10. The artwork for these covers by Tom Webster has just been perfection. I also love how this has been done in purple to keep in line with the vanilla DVDs that came out in 2005. One thing of note with this release is this also features Big Finish's new slogan, "For the Love of Stories." And this also features on the side of the set. And on the side, we have the Mondasian Cybermen, bit like how we had the other Cyberman on the previous volume. This is all of Series 1 of the Ninth Doctor Adventures now. It's nice to see the little evolution of sets that we've got here with the Ninth Doctor on Big Finish. We start off with Ravagers, we have Respond to All Calls, we have Lost Warriors, and we have Old Friends. Two of them featuring the Ninth Doctor, two of them featuring Cybermen. Whatever will come next. Back of the set, we've got some nice imagery along with the description of the set, as well as the titles and authors of the stories. So we have Fond Farewell by David K. Barnes, Way of the Buryman by Roy Gill, and The Fourth Generation, also by Roy Gill. One thing to note as well is the last two stories in this are actually a two-parter. This set is also directed by Helen Goldwyn. For the first part of Old Friends, we have Fond Farewell by David K. Barnes with a very nice front cover. Initially, I thought that these things here were Autons, but they're not. They just turn out to be androids, so sorry to spoil it for any of you who are hoping that the Autons were coming back for this story. Overall, very nice front cover. Really weird placement of the TARDIS there, but nonetheless very nice. Also weird that we have dinosaurs there. At the back we have our description of the story, so if you want to pause the video now you can do so. On the inside we have the reversible cover along with behind the scenes info and behind the scenes photos of the cast while recording this story. And here we have the disc. Guess what we get behind the disc? An advertisement for Dalek Universe 1. Quite odd that we don't really get an advertisement for any of the other Ninth Doctor adventures, and we don't really get this for the remainder of this set either. Next is Way of the Buryman, which is the first of the two-part story, and I'm also going to bring in the last part as well, because I think that these two covers actually do go nice hand in hand, because the colour scheme is very similar, and we have the same characters featuring on the front cover all around. We have the Cyberman, the Ninth Doctor, the Brigadier, and Sam Bishop, all posing in different ways. Here's the plot of Way of the Buryman. Here's the plot of The Fourth Generation. Here's the inside for Way of the Berryman, so just take the disc out. We get an advertisement for Dalek Universe 2. Same thing for the 4th generation, but this time, for this case, we have 2 discs, so we have disc 3. And then if we just move this out, then you can see we have disc 4, which is the behind the scenes. And just there at the back, we have the advertisement for Dalek Universe 3. If you want to check out those reviews, then you can do so right now. Last side note, there's the spines for anyone interested. Alrighty then, so what did I think of Fond Farewell? Well, I thought it had a slow start, but that's okay. Some stories do have slow starts. I think around the middle of the story is where it really begins to become very interesting. And after I came out of this story, I thought it was a very thought-provoking story with strong performances all around. I think the Professor character is one of the best things about this story. I think the whole theme of Fond Farewell is all to do with loss, because the whole premise is about what if you got to spend another day with someone after they pass away. It's always been a concept that has been talked about, like a what if, which you can never have in the real world. So to have this being explored in a Doctor Who audio, it's a really good idea, and I think it is executed very well, because it really did get me thinking. I feel like this story is very heartbreaking. There's a few twists and turns towards the end of the story, without me giving anything away, that I thought, wow, that's actually quite dark in a way. This is a tale about morality, and I think that this really fits perfectly for this incarnation of the Doctor, and I feel that this story hit me on a personal level. Therefore, I think as a standalone story, Fond Farewell is a great way to start off this Old Friends box set. The Old Friends theme is that the Professor is an old friend of the Ninth Doctor. I think what gets messy about this is that the Professor, for some reason, doesn't remember the Ninth Doctor after he is brought back after dying, and it's up to the Ninth Doctor to figure out why he doesn't remember. And when he does, I think it is quite heartbreaking. So yeah, Fond Farewell, strong opener. Now for the main event, if you will, for this box set. We have the continuation of this Old Friends arc for this volume in the two-parter, Way of the Berryman and the 4th generation. This is the series finale for the first series of Ninth Doctor Adventures, and what better than to have the return of an iconic character so beloved by many Doctor Who fans in the form of the Brigadier. John Culshaw brings his A-game to this. He does a fantastic job filling in for the late Nicholas Courtney as an older Alistair Gordon Lethbridge Stewart. I really love the interaction between the Ninth Doctor and the Brigadier, and I'm so glad that we have got these two characters interacting with each other, because it's something which I think really, really benefits. We also have Warren Brown coming in as Sam Bishop. Now, from what I understand, this isn't the only time that this particular character has appeared in a Big Finish audio, but in terms of his timeline, it's the first time he's met the Brigadier and come across Unit. With this being the 2-part finale for Series 1 of the Ninth Doctor Adventures, we also have the return of the Cybermen, which I think is quite good, because that means on TV we had the Daleks coming back for the finale, and then for audio we have Cybermen coming back. I think it's quite poetic, and it almost feels like that this was something that Big Finish planned right from the get-go when they finally got the go-ahead to do these Ninth Doctor adventures, when they finally heard that Christopher Eccleston was on board. It's going to be unfair of me to compare this finale to the Series 1 finale on TV, because that finale was just phenomenal. The strong point about this is the depiction of the Cybermen. Now, some people may think that this has been done before, whether it be in Classic Who, whether it be in New Who, whether it be in other Big Finish. But I quite like this for the context of this story. The Cybermen aren't at the best here, but I feel that this is a big part of the whole narrative of the story. Sometimes when an enemy isn't at their strongest could make them even deadly than when they are at full power. The voice work by Nicholas Briggs, it goes without saying, he's amazing. I'm happy to say that the novelty of the Cybermen turning up in Ninth Doctor box set has not worn off after their last appearance. I like the parallels that we had a lone Dalek turn up in Series 1 of Doctor Who, and then for the finale we had a load of them turn up, and then we had a lone Cyberman turn up in the middle of this run of adventures for Big Finish, and then we have a group of them turn up for this finale. Admittedly, I think that Way of the Berryman was a slow start, a little bit like Fond Farewell, but I think it lays the groundwork, and I think it's important, because if you're going to have a two-parter to end a series of adventures, then you need to do that as long as you get the payoff. Thankfully, the second part gives us the payoff. Well, I think it gives the payoff anyway. The Fourth Generation is a grand finale. It's full of so many thrills, so many surprises, and some more heartbreak. I was sat there with my eyes closed all the way through this thrill ride, and I could just picture everything in my mind. And when I can do that for a Big Finish audio, then you know something has been done right. I could just totally see this being a part of Series 1. It was that good. The subplot with Sam Bishop was good. Everything to do with the Brigadier was so good, as I said before. The interplay between the Ninth Doctor and the Brigadier is some of the best stuff about the set. And that was without knowing that the Cybermen were going to be in this. It's such a fantastic way to end what has been a thrill ride of Ninth Doctor adventures since the very beginning with Ravagers. So, to wrap this whole thing up, I'm just going to say, get Old Friends, because this is an amazing box set. You have a nice standalone story followed by a great two-part finale featuring Cybermen. So many nods to the past, including a nod to a Krynoid. The Ninth Doctor mentions Krynoids. Mind blown. Never thought I'd ever hear Christopher Eccleston say the word Krynoid. I think that this set, along with the other three sets which have been delivered to us by Big Finish so far, have just been beyond phenomenal, and it proves that Christopher Eccleston is in fact one of the best incarnations of the Doctor. I cannot stress enough how good it is that we have more Ninth Doctor content with the man himself, because a few years ago I did not think that this would come into fruition. I could not be any happier. So I just want to say thank you to Christopher Eccleston for giving us this opportunity to hear you again as the Ninth Doctor, and I just want to say thank you to everybody at Big Finish, the cast, the crew, the writers, the directors, everybody involved in this set and all of the other sets, and all around everything else that has been done regarding all the other Doctor Who's, all the other spin-offs that have been released through the years by Big Finish. Long may it continue, and long may the Ninth Doctor adventures continue, because the Ninth Doctor will be back with another set of stories later this year. So join me then as I review Series 2 of the Ninth Doctor adventures from Big Finish. Thank you very much for watching my review of Old Friends. It has been a blast. Take care, and I'll see you next time.